Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledging knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, brews, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Faux pas number one. Hello, welcome back to the program. It's Topic Thunder. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Internet Saloon that we celebrate here just about every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your family.
Particularly your enemies. They'll love this.
Tell them, tell your enemies, and then celebrate your victory over them by drinking your favorite beverage from their skull.
Yes.
We're not advocating violence here.
Give me a minute. We might be.
We might be. But that's for a later situation. This is the intro of the show. The weekly news magazine. I guess this is becoming kind of like 60 minutes because we're certainly trying to keep up with things, but I don't know.
Oh, man, but you know what? We give the people what they want. People expect, they are anticipating our opinions on these stories. We're going to give them to you.
I think the
sniper show where we should have a sniper show where the audience picks the topics. I like that idea.
Okay. So, truth, I haven't told this to you. I actually just told this to my sweet Gigi Angela, who's watching the other room. I was actually considering a variant of Topic Thunder, kind of based on you'll get this, Ben, the old McLaughlin Group show.
Yeah.
Where the moderator throws out, has a panel of guests.
Like the sports reporters also.
And the moderator throws out topics, and the guests have to. This is widely mocked. You might be more familiar with the SNL version of this, where John McLaughlin, I forgot who played him, but like basically said like, Ben Jordan, your thoughts and opinion on Netanyahu versus Hamas, go. And whatever you said, he'd be like, wrong.
I like that. I like the idea though of the audience shooting stuff at us, and we got to react. It was Dana Carvey.
The idea of the audience shooting stories at us. Like, okay, we're I think Topic Thunder's, let's be very frank, it's probably due for a little bit of a refresh, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. We have some solid things.
More listener submissions would be great. We do get, Ryan Hansen regularly. We get some submissions. Tipped in Moscow's regularly chiming in and sending us some stuff. But those of you that are out there, if you see a story that you think is interesting and you want to get our opinions on, send it our way, and we will definitely work it in. We love listener submissions. The less work that we can do curating stories, the more time we can spend coming up with opinions about said stories. So,
just different variants. We're trying to keep this idea fresh. The conversation going. The conversation that is being had in the world's most dangerous chat zone. We call that the Thunderdome. We've already got. It's already a lively bunch in there, full of VIPs and extraordinary people. And how to submit right?
Oh yeah, I guess you'd have to expose yourself, because the only really real way to get in touch with us is probably through Facebook Messenger. I guess you could send us a message through Twitch. I don't know how you do that. But I do. If you want to stay anonymous, there's got to be a way.
We can certainly service that, and we
got to set up an email maybe.
That was going to be my thing. We'll set up some sort of email and maybe some sort of chat method to kind of get us some stories, if you want to keep that veil on, which we can certainly appreciate here on the show. A throwback, we haven't done, we did the punchable face tournament once, right? And admittedly, it was during the height of the pandemic where nobody could go anywhere, so I had a lot of free time to do a lot of photoshopping and things like that. But it is a good idea, right? So I think we can probably bring that back.
I like it. I like it.
Punchable Faces tournament, while we don't advocate violence here, it might be worth a gamble. No, it's an absolutely a good time to bring that up because Ben, this week on the show, our drink of choice is a cold, refreshing IBC root
beer. I love IBC root beer.
This is
Root
in honor
beer.
of and courtesy of our good friend Chompy Mage, who's actually in the chat zone right now.
Oh, good. There you go.
Little, as I just opened this up, and I actually, this has been a real hot minute since I've had a root beer.
Yes.
Man, that is all right. That is exactly what your brain thinks of when you say the word root beer.
So is it ICB? IBC, I believe, is
IBC.
better than ICB.
IBC.
IBC.
ICB?
No, I did. IBC root beer is better than A&W root beer, right?
Mm.
It is the top
That is-
of the pyramid when it comes to root beers.
It is kind of the standard, right? There might be some craft root beers.
Sure, right. Yeah. I agree. There might be some some sort of weird internet sensation that we haven't had, but as far as like mainstream that you can go to your local, grocery store or whatever, Jewels, and get and get it. Yeah, IBC is probably your best bet.
It is a solid choice. That is exactly what my brain was thinking. So my taste buds sent all those signals up, and my brain was like, "Oh, that's root beer." And I was like, "That's root beer." So that is in honor of Sir Aaron Chompy Mage in the chat zone, who Ben spent his, from what I understand, his first young adult moments in a big city here. He spent the night in the compound downtown here. And we reached out to make sure we had enough treats and whatever he wanted. And he's a fan of root beer. And Sunday night when we were dealing with tornado sirens, yeah, Aaron, I knew you. We played it cool here in the apartment when the sirens of tornadoes went off in downtown Chicago.
Yikes.
But we knew you knew what was going on. We played it cool. We just booted up a game of Civ 6 and started playing. But he downed 2 root beers. And that, to me, is the equivalent of a good time. So cheers to our good friend Aaron, who's in the... hey, Chris. And some award-winning root beer from Colorado. See, I can't compare. I can't.
Yeah, that's not fair. It's like comparing Budweiser to a craft beer. It's not same. It's not the same level.
With it, I also brought an adult beverage too.
Yeah, I was wondering when you sent me the IVC link. I was like, okay, all right, cool. But yeah,
for 1 second that I'm not imbibing an alcoholic beverage.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyway, listen, it was still pretty good, and it was thanks, Aaron. I tried to make your experience wonderful, and I hope it was. Because what we're about to talk about, I don't know if the word wonderful could ever be considered.
Interesting.
Interesting? The times of our lives. Where do we begin? Well, let's begin just by...
I know where we have to begin.
There was an assassination attempt against a presidential nominee. 2024. And that should be pause for thought and conversation in and of itself, right? In a
Sure.
vacuum. That is one hell of a conversation to have. Given all the context surrounding this, could this be not any more weird? Could this not be any more like...
Okay, here's the thing.
What's going on here, Ben?
I don't know what's going on here, and that's what makes this so weird.
That's what I came here for.
Yeah, you were hoping I was going to have some answers, but I don't. Like, honestly, like I want to believe that my immediate reaction is like this, knowing who is involved. Like, it's very easy to say staged, right? False flag, some sort of like staged event, right? It's easy to say that. And I say it honestly with a little bit of jest, but with still leaving open the possibility, certainly, that it is some sort of false flag event. But honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't think this was any sort of false flag. I don't think Donald Trump's people were in on it, and because people die. A man died. There is someone that died here.
And
If that had not happened,
like,
right? If other people had not been hit, you'd have an argument. That doesn't mean that I don't still have questions about how this all went down and how it was allowed to happen. There are some questions that need to be answered.
right.
Above all else, as how the fuck did he get on a rooftop that close and nobody do anything about it until after he started shooting? There seems to have been video and pictures showing a sniper, a Secret Service sniper, pointed directly at him. The guy that ends up killing him, from what I understand, there's a Secret Service sniper that kills him immediately after he starts shooting. But they don't do anything until he starts shooting. And there are now released videos of people that were like, hey, what is this guy doing? And like taking video of it ahead of
Calling
time.
him by name. Hey, I forgot it.
Crooks is his last. Thomas Crooks. I want to
Like,
say.
hey, so all of
So I don't know, man. The BlackRock thing, him being in a BlackRock advertisement adds another level of like, what the fuck is going on? Like anything BlackRock is involved with, you always got to be suspicious of.
We have to explain what BlackRock is. BlackRock is a.
They own everything. Let's just know that. Just put it. They're an investment company that owns the majority of stock in every major company that you can think of. In every sector of everything. They are one of the largest shareholders of pretty much everything.
Okay, so a very powerful organization.
Yes.
That he has been clearly linked with, whether he wanted to or not. But I can't say, I can't assume he wasn't paid for. I don't
Right. Someone put on the fact that he's a registered Republican, but donated to a Democratic. His only donation he ever donated to was a Democratic PAC. There's a lot of like, what really was this guy's motive? Here's what we do know. He was a young white male with an AR-15. How the fuck he got this thing? We'll probably find out.
It was actually bought legally by his
There we
father.
go. Again, another legally purchased weapon by a young white male is used in a
father.
was purchased by his father. Oh, even better. Even better. What is with these parents that are buying guns for their children and then not keeping track of what they're doing with them? Like, there is a lot to this. I cannot say staged. I don't believe it was staged. I don't know what this guy's motives were. It would be interesting. That being said, and maybe this is terrible, but man, how different would the landscape? How much better would we feel about our future had 1 inch to the right? That bullet had landed where it was meant to land. How different is the landscape? And how much different are we feeling today? We probably approaching this with a level of like, all right, we're not headed towards Christian fascism. Like, because the Republicans couldn't put somebody in place fast enough that could garner the same sort of groundswell that Trump has.
Then how can you not differentiate our political system to that of, I'd say, like maybe Russia then at that point, where political assassinations ensure the election of somebody. Now, you're absolutely right, because like looking at it like the way I'm describing it, it's very dystopian and fucked up, like for sure. Because like we're given again, that was in the group text with you guys, like given the recent Supreme Court ruling that gives presidents immunity for in-office actions, this is what we're talking about. Is like, oh, I don't like you, all right, SEAL Team 6, go and pay that
Yeah.
guy a visit, like pow, right? So we have to be careful on one side, but on the other side, I completely understand what you're saying in that regard, because Democrats in chaos, like, okay, here come, who's your nominee then at that point, right? However, they'd have the sympathy vote at that point, and no telling. Still 3.5 months out. We have to be careful about the attention span and the emotional capacity and bandwidth of everybody watching media, especially the voting public, those that are going to vote. Because right now it's like, yes, we're already seeing like that the tampon on his ear and everything like that. That's not a bandage.
Oh yeah, I mean that photo of him raising his fist while he's surrounded by security and the blood all over his face, like,
so
they are going to drill that home.
We are gonna, okay. So let's. It is, and Chris, yes, and has absolutely hit it. It's the Reichstag fire, which, if you don't know your World War II history, don't stop listening and watching.
It's you better exactly. Hit pause. Go do some interest. Yeah.
Step back, and once the show's over, go learn about the Reichstag. This is a German thing. Go and check that out. But okay, so let's ramble.
I'll shift. I want to shift gears a little bit, because the story that is the real story here. We can speculate about the conspiracies of this, right? But the real story is the colossal letdown of the Secret Service and their, like I talked about, the lack of awareness. Just a total clusterfuck from the Secret Service on all levels.
Unless it was staged, Ben.
But it also didn't Donald Trump handpick his own Secret Service detail? Like, they're all guys that he picked, right? He doesn't have guys that are around him that aren't guys that are on his team. And
they are absolutely chosen by the former president's administration, if not personally by the former president. Yes, that's his security detail.
They're trying to put this on the director of the Secret Service, and she's probably going to end up losing her job over this in the end. But I'm sorry, if I'm her, I'm standing up for myself and saying, if it does come back on her that she did something that is deserving of losing her job, then by all means she should lose her job. But if she was hampered from doing her job because there was pushback from his security detail on some level, or they didn't want more people because Trump didn't want them because they're not his people, kind of situation. That's what I want to find out. And where there's blame in the Secret Service somewhere, and that is the actual story that's going to be, and whatever threads might be pulled are going to be exposed in that investigation and what comes out of that investigation.
like some of these agents surrounding Trump, his Secret Service,
right.
Were the same people that are legitimately accused of deleting text messages during January.
Don't forget that.
6th, and
yep.
This on government communication devices, deleting text messages that were going on during January 6th that might have provided some context as to what was going on with, at the time, President of the United States during an insurrection. Oh, that's not the show that we're doing. I know that's why I know that's why you called, but we'll get to your questions later. This is a fascinating study about what is currently going on in not only American politics, but now we've certainly seen the political divide with the public, for sure, the media. Now our politicians in government, our judiciary, and now we're seeing a division and a very scary, honestly, very scary division in probably some of the highest levels of U.S. law enforcement. I can't imagine like a Secret Service position being any less valuable than the aforementioned Navy SEAL or your best negotiator or diplomat in the State Department. Like they're the best of the best, right? They're the highest trained, the most experienced, make the best decisions when they need to make decisions, the best aim, right? All of those things, willing to jump in front of a bullet, all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here is a story from the Washington Post. The Secret Service was told police could not watch the building used by Trump rally shooter. Local police alerted the Secret Service before former President Donald Trump's rally Saturday that they lacked the resources to station a patrol car outside a key building where a gunman later positioned himself and shot at Trump, according to local federal law enforcement officials. Richard Goldinger, the district attorney in Butler County, Pennsylvania, where the Trump rally took place, said the Secret Service was, quote, informed that the local police department did not have manpower to assist with securing that building. Okay, first and foremost, why'd you have the rally then?
Right.
Like, at that point, honestly, seriously, think about this. Why did you continue with the rally when the local law enforcement said, we can't help you? You were probably counting on them to help you.
Right.
And at that point, it should have been called off. Goldinger's account was confirmed by Secret Service agent and spokesperson Anthony Guglielmi. Guglielmi said the proposal to station a patrol car and officer outside the AGR International Building Complex had been part of the Secret Service's advanced planning for security. Let's repeat that. The Secret Service's advanced planning for securing the prominent structure, which had an expansive roof and an unobstructed view of the rally stage, less than 150 yards away where Trump would later stand.
I heard something about they didn't put a sniper on the roof because the roof was slanted. So they decided instead of putting the agent in danger of being on a slanted roof, they put the snipers on the top level inside the building. And this dude crawled up the outside of the building onto the roof, and nobody did anything. Like that. What is going on? That's the most bizarre part of this. Really, not that he shot at Trump. That's not the bizarre part. Like that doesn't surprise me that somebody took a shot at Trump, right? The part that surprises me is that he was able to pull it off, to get within literal inches of assassinating a presidential nominee. Like
the colossal chain of failure.
It's astonishing.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And that. Then combine that with the next story, Ben, that the United States had received intelligence of an Iranian
all roofs are
plot
slanted
to assassinate Trump.
Oops.
This is from Reuters. The United States received intelligence in recent weeks about an Iranian plot to assassinate former President Donald J. Trump. The CNN said on Tuesday, and a U.S. official said the Secret Service shared details of an increased threat with the Trump campaign. The White House declined to comment, but said there were no indications that the suspected shooter in Saturday's attempted assassination of Trump had any foreign or domestic accomplices. Iran, just for the record, said the accusations against it were unsubstantiated and malicious, which is what a good PR person would probably say too.
Right.
Wasn't he supposed to be friendly with Iran? Wasn't he supposed
that was the rumor, right?
Like that he got along with those authoritarian dictator types? Why would they want to kill him? They would
Yeah,
love
he was
see
supposed to
him.
leave. Wasn't he? Wasn't his whole thing is that he's well respected in the foreign community, and that he keeps with him in office. There were no wars, and if there would be no wars. You know, Putin wouldn't invade Ukraine if he was in office.
So
That's the rhetoric.
what this meant, that there was an already heightened sense of security, right? If U.S. intelligence sent word to the Secret Service that, hey, we think Iran, go figure, guys, go figure, is looking to assassinate Trump, wouldn't you think, Ben, I know you're not like a security expert. I don't think we have a security expert in the chat room, but please correct me if you are. Wouldn't you make sure that every rooftop had some sort of law enforcement official upon it? So that just to me just blows my mind that you couldn't have a cop or a maybe not a cop, maybe he's an off-duty cop, maybe they were a retired cop. It could be a he or a she, but they got a gun and they got a radio, and the minute somebody's coming up the ladder or climbing up the walls of the building,
there was a sniper looking right at him, pointed right at him. He was able to shoot him within seconds of him opening fire.
but what does
He
this
did
all
nothing.
mean? What is this all? Where is this going? Right? Because this comes in certainly the height of the call for Biden to retire, which we're actually going to talk about in a little bit too. But it also comes shortly after Trump was named, I think, like 76 times in the Jeffrey Epstein documents that were just released. This comes at the height of an amazing amount of evidence that he was somehow involved in a human trafficking ring. But here we come, and here we are, with the situation with a man who decides wearing damn near a tampon to wag that dog. Exactly, Billy Whack. Wearing a tampon on his ear is the way to show the American people that he is damaged in the ear. And this next video is not long. It's 10 seconds, and it's well after my reaction. I want to point something out. Say what you will. I don't know. Was it a bullet that grazed him? I don't know. That's really lucky, because a bullet from a weapon of that caliber probably at least takes your ear off, if not that side of your head.
That is also suspicious. I will admit there is some suspicion to that part of it, but
the idea that it could have been coming from a teleprompter or some sort of the idea that it's a teleprompter is weird, because this was what the right side.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah.
Okay, so but where the shooter was positioned was like the right side of the stage, right? It wasn't looking dead on.
He was he was looking off to the right of the stage. He seemed to be looking right at the guy, to be perfectly honest with you, because it grazed based on his wound. He was looking at it, and it grazed right past his head and clipped his ear. I mean,
clipped his ear. But now there's been some reporting that it was the glass of the teleprompter, which, again, they've got like bulletproof plexiglass.
Right, you see those like little you see them a lot. They're like little glass fixtures that are kind of stationed in front of the booths. You can see them often when presidential candidates and presidents are speaking in public. Yeah,
it's like being in the front row at a hockey. It's a hockey game, right? The plexiglass that's protecting you from the puck that's screaming at 100 miles towards your skull, right? Same thing with that, right? So that's not going to be penetrated, apparently, from what I understand. From a weapon of that caliber with that bullet size, you need something like military grade if you're going to be that far away.
So there is some more questions, logistical questions, that need to be answered about how this happened and how he got injured and how he escaped further injury and all that.
But they won't, because the narrative is Biden needs to resign. there are Democrats coming out of the woodwork saying Biden needs to resign. Adam Schiff today, Biden needs to resign. And now we've got J.D. Vance as our...
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. So something that's not being pointed out, and I'm going to take it one step further than just the fist pump and the fight, all right? We're going to watch this video a couple of different times. Watch the very end when he's walking off stage. What does he throw up?
Let me see. Oh. Whoa. That is a little weird. It is.
Fight.
It is.
Fight. And now turn to his left.
In his defense, I know what it looks like, but I think he's like waving. Honestly, I know what it looks like, and I want to believe that he is.
Well, what does it look like?
It looks like he's doing the Sieg Heil, Hail Hitler, Nazi salute. It does look like that, but
that doesn't trend anywhere near that person at all.
I know. Again, the reason that all of this is feasible in some part of Iran, everybody I talk to is at least open to the idea that there might be something fishy here. Even the staunchest Republican, MAGA Republican that I know saw this thing and said, with Donald Trump, anything is possible. So because of who is at the center of this, anything is plausible. Any scenario is plausible with him because he is willing to try and do anything to help him win and help him look better in a situation.
Okay, so
he's a carny, yes.
He's a carny, right?
Yes.
So what if
he's a grifter? Yeah.
What if he picked up the phone and called Vince McMahon and said, "How do I blade myself? How do I get?" It's been mentioned right here. What if he gigged himself?
I know. I agree. Right? There's a possibility of that.
And that the Trump campaign or the Secret Service or nobody, there is other, and actually, you can Google this. The Trump campaign has come out and said that anybody who leaks any information about the medical treatment of former President Donald J. Trump will be found out. They literally said it in the press. Will be found out and terminated from their employment in the campaign.
Really? Why? That is interesting. I didn't know that.
If you were legitimately shot at, and you were this guy who's, again, a carnival barker of the best of the best at this point. You are a Hall of Fame carny, sir. Congratulations.
Legitimately, you're in the WWE Hall of Fame.
You are.
You're a Hall of Fame carny, yes.
And you weren't willing to release the actual medical records of how you were treated, the damage that was done. Like, look. Let's be honest. Apparently, if you had an AR-15 and you still got shot at that distance, you would have a concussion. You would have hearing loss. You would have all kinds of problems like that side. If it just even grazed your head. Right? But the fact that they're like,
that is fishy. That is very, very fishy. There's something there too, you know.
Let's put a 4x4 fucking gauze pad on this dude's ear. The side of his skull he'd look like, I don't know, Anakin after that. It
is a level of luck if truly the guy was looking to assassinate him and not. And I can't imagine that this 20-year-old kid was such a marksman that he's able to shoot from that distance and just graze his ear, right? Like you're also, there is either it is planned or it is dumb luck. There's no because you're right. Like you said, there should be more damage. It is extremely lucky if all it did was graze and just nick his ear. The level of luck involved with that, you would think would change a man coming that close to death, right? But he doesn't seem any different. You watch the Republican National Convention. There's nothing different about his demeanor, his actions, the way he carries himself, there doesn't seem to be any change. And you would think if you came that close to your head being splattered all over the fucking stage in front of your supporters, that you would there would be some sort of change in you. There would be like and almost honestly, like if played right, if this was staged and this was played, then he's playing it wrong. Because if he played it right, he would come out and be like a very almost humbled and like, listen, I understand that my rhetoric got us to a point and we need to focus more on the issues of the people. Like there's a way to spin this for him, but he's not capable of that, right? Like we're not talking about, but the right person. But if you're going to set this up, you're going to stage this thing, you're going to go through all this, you're going to sacrifice human lives with collateral damage. Mm-hmm. You got to be sure that you're going to play this right. And if they're not playing it right, in my opinion, there's a sympathy that he could get. There's a way that he could change the narrative about himself that could get some independence. The people that were sitting out, that were not going to vote, that would say, you know what? Maybe this changed him on some level.
I don't think they're interested in the independence. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
I really think
they want to keep people from voting because they know they have enough of their own crowd to win.
Part of the thing is that they're trying to beat down the people like who are like, well, maybe I'll like. That's why we're like, hey, look, there's to crib an Obama line, like, don't shoot, vote,
right.
But I think they're missing. Sure, that point that they could be fundraising, but they're actually, I don't think they're looking for the independents, because those are generally rational people who are like weighing like, well, I don't know, right? Okay, they're not going for those people.
Yeah, their strategy is exclusionary. Yeah.
They're solidifying their base and they're radicalizing their base. And much of what's being said right now in the world's most dangerous chat zone, the Thunderdome, because they're basically designating a Messiah level title to him at this point, and all they care about is that base. Because, folks, I hate to break it to you, that January 6th was just a warm up. It was a test. It was a pregame, because they're already saying that if he's not elected president, then it's going to be bedlam. And they mean it. This was radicalizing and further radicalizing that base and getting them ready and to believe in a fervor, not unlike ISIS, not unlike members of the Taliban that radicalize a religion, or members of the Iranian elite guard, where they subscribe to a messianic type personality, cult of personality complex. Mm-hmm. Like, that's where this is. It's not about winning the election. It's about getting enough people to execute their action plan. Which you can imagine what that is.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We recently had an assassination attempt. And, I don't know a president that could handle it better. If you paid attention to anything Biden said during the press conference in I think it was the Roosevelt Room and in the later Oval Office, I don't know that you handle a situation better as a sitting president. But he said this, and I think that is at probably the heart and the crux of our issues these days.
We've never seen anything like this, and it's not a joke. It's time for us to stop treating politics like entertainment and reality TV. Another 4 years with Donald Trump is deadly serious. Deadly serious. His proposals are deadly serious. America.
Yeah, it is the right message.
It's what, and don't look. It's about the message, right? It's about the message.
I know that guy.
Yeah, it is. What he said should be recorded in history forever, because whether or not we recover from this and become a resemblance of what we were, or we become something different, that he said that and put it on record is so meaningful and actually so powerful, because it is. This isn't pro wrestling. This isn't sports.
Yeah, we'll go.
Right?
Who's going to look back at this time frame, 50, 100 years from now, and we're going to see how, and it sounds conspiracy, but the media really is the culprit of this. From the rise of Donald Trump to being taken seriously as a candidate. Remember, without the media giving Donald Trump tremendous amounts of free airtime, because the idea of a celebrity reality TV show star with a personality like Trump's running for president was seen as entertainment.
Ratings.
It was ratings. People were tuning in to see what this guy had to say. And all of a sudden, when every network from CNN to MSNBC to Fox News, all of them, they gave him free advertisement and free airtime through the entire 2016 campaign, when he was fighting with all the Republicans to become the nominee. They gave him the lion's share of the TV time. The media in this country, yes, yeah, they're all to blame.
The liberal media gave him that. So
it's why it's so easy. It's why it's been so easy for Trump to then turn on the media and use them as the villain. Right? Because they are to blame. They are the villain in this. All sides. Now they blame the liberal media, right? Because it's they have to.
Everybody says the media is liberal in this country. The liberal media, the liberal media.
Right, except for Fox News and Newsmax and all those that still do the same thing.
But that's a local rise in like the last 5 years. And what the liberal media used to be a code for was like the Jewish controlled media, right? That's what it kind of meant.
Yeah, you're right.
Liberal media, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. CNN wasn't so liberal when they were, like you said, man, giving hours and hours of free airtime to Donald Trump and making him look good, right? Yeah. Just the same way NBC.
It's the media's fault, and the media, and so Trump to finish off my point of why Biden's right here, and how history I feel is going to look back at this era, is that the media gave him all that time on television, and what it did was it attracted, because of his name and his personality and his willingness to say outlandish things, he attracted a very large group of people that were not before that moment interested or participating in politics. Agreed. Dive into politics without any knowledge of how the system or government worked, and just blindly believed whatever he was saying about, because they believed, like, well, if he's running for president, he must know what's going on there. So we're going to believe. Man. Yeah, we're going to believe what we're going to just buy into this. Ben. Yeah, we're just going to buy into this guy, and we're going to go into this thing that we know nothing about, and then we're going to just cause fucking havoc, because we don't like being told that we can't say certain words anymore, or we can't, or that certain topics should be treated a little bit differently, and people given their different personalities in life and their different lifestyles should just be treated equally. And because they don't want to do those things, they got behind Trump and have completely dismantled our political and government system to a point of almost no return in such an incredibly short period of time that I'm telling you, it's going to be a case study. When in 50 to 100 years, they're going to look back and go, it's amazing what happened in America from 2016 to 2028. Those 12 years are going to be looked at, analyzed. Actually, go back to 2015 when it all started, or 12, even then, right?
But it roots into the 80s and the fall of, when you properly analyze it, the fall of the Soviet Union too.
Sure, which we've talked about. The Turning Point, that documentary does a great job of pointing out. But still, this 12 years from Obama to the end of whatever this next 4 years
during
is.
Obama. Putin invaded Ukraine, Crimea in 2014 during Obama.
I understand that, but the American public, the politics were still politics, and people didn't totally pay attention to what was going. A large number of Americans didn't pay attention to American politics.
Oh, sure.
Until 2016.
Right. No, yeah, we've got plenty of friends on our Facebook.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the phenomenon I'm talking about that will be analyzed for decades, if not centuries, is how media giving a voice to someone allowed him to rise to a level of power that completely changed the trajectory of the world's most powerful country.
Yes.
It's an amazing thing that's happened here.
Absolutely. And you're right, Aunt Chris. Trump
actually
tweeted that he had a highly credible source that said Obama's birth certificate wasn't legit.
Correct.
Here we are. Anyway, so we
there is news. This next one is interesting. We got to because there is a medical condition now.
We have had conversation about current President Joe Biden stepping down from his position as the presumptive nominee for the next presidency, and the calls for that we've certainly covered. There have been few interviews where the president has asserted that he's basically not going anywhere.
Right.
But then there was this interview that was released this Wednesday, today. And this is from our friends at the New York Times via Yahoo News. Washington President Joe Biden said in an interview released Wednesday that he would reevaluate whether to stay in the presidential race if a doctor told him directly that he had a medical condition that made that necessary. Biden has said repeatedly that none of his doctors have told him that he has a serious medical condition. Dr. Kevin O'Connor, the White House physician, wrote after the president's physical in February. Biden is a healthy, active, robust 81-year-old male who remains fit to execute the duties of the presidency. But his disastrous performance at the debate with former President Donald Trump last month prompted a wave of calls of Democratic allies to step aside. Again, in an interview with Ed Gordon of BET News, Biden was asked if there was anything that would make him reevaluate staying in the race. Quote, if I had some medical condition that emerged, if doctors came to me and said, you got this problem, you got that problem, Biden said, according to a brief excerpt released by the network. And yes, it's already been said in a chat, and it's widely now covered. Biden has tested positive for COVID for now the third time, actually.
He's got me beat now.
Yeah. Officially, no, but I think I'm definitely suffering some long COVID effects. But that's a different podcast. Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19 and is suffering mild symptoms, according to the White House. Karine Jean-Pierre, his press secretary, has said the U.S. president is vaccinated and boosted. He has tested positive for COVID twice before. Mr. Biden, 81, was seen earlier on Wednesday visiting supporters in Las Vegas and speaking at an event. Vegas, well, it's the Vegas flu, although that's actually not that's different. He has canceled a campaign speech later in the evening. The illness comes as he faces increasing pressure to step aside because of his age following a poor debate performance in June. What was that he just said?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, if it gets serious, right? And for an 81-year-old man, no matter how healthy you are, COVID can go sideways pretty quick. Ask Herman Cain.
Hey, the idea that now this occurs with really legitimately strategically enough time for the Kamala Harris campaign to officially like get out there.
We're almost another week, and we've almost lost the opportunity and the time for it to happen. If it goes another week, and he is still the nominee, and nothing's changed, then it almost is too late.
The clock is ticking, right? Because if it's going to be you, even I'm getting to the point, and I'm well beyond patient in these situations.
Yes, you are. Yes, much more than I.
That it might be time now. But they might be setting it up where they could have a graceful. He walks off into the sunset, which he seems that kind of guy. Which
there's a total way to do that. Yes.
Deservedly so, right?
Yep.
His life in politics and public service deserves the good walk off into the sunset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the one from Shane. Okay. We've covered a lot. We've run up against time, which we usually do. Have you ever wondered why earthquakes happen, how they happen, what it looks like, and not like in a geological, but
and not John Tenta, right?
No, not John Tenta.
Okay, gotcha.
Not the shark.
Avalanche. Gotcha. No, not him. Okay.
No.
So what? Actual earthquakes.
This is what basically happens with an earthquake. This is the tectonic plates moving, in a fast motion, so we can see the actual physical properties of an earthquake are, with the ground we walk upon, what we think is so stable.
So, okay, so this is the plates moving,
right? So there's a conveyor belt that will not be stopped.
Right.
That's like a resistance. There's a certain amount of resistance to that other plate there.
And then it springs back up. I see.
Only so much it can take until it hits a point where there's another plate there below it, or it gets to a point where it's like, that's it, bro.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. That's a cool visualization of it.
But that's what happens in an earthquake. The more spring to that little step right there, the larger it is. Yeah, there was one the other night, 3.4 in not normal, but we're Northern Illinois University. I can't think of that.
DeKalb.
Thank you. Post-COVID.
I've been there. I partied a few times in DeKalb with Mad Mark and Ryan Boz, among others.
Northern Star Wrestling.
Oh yes, where the classic commentary team of Mike Bronx and Jason Zenman.
And
that was one of the most drunk I've ever been at a wrestling show.
Mike Bronx apparently is some sort of legend. I'd love to meet the man.
That commentary, I would love to go back and listen to that commentary again, because there's some gems in there. We were flying free that night. So.
Who sat in? Who's the I can't think of that. It was a friend of
Chuck Smooth.
Chucky Smooth sat
on
Mike Bronx's lap, and
yes, he did.
Sputtered a few things, and then somebody split their skull on one of the
that would be Machine.
Right.
Machine split his head open on the very low ceiling in there during a battle royal, I believe.
Ill-advised move. We'll just say that.
Yes.
Palate cleanse, but is it a palate cleanse? You know what, Ben? I'm going to save a story sent to us. No, let's do it. You already put it up there. Let's do it.
Okay.
California nudist rescue tourist from pirate guy caught in on-camera showdown. No, this is not the lightning round.
No, you would think, but no.
There is a video that I'm promised. It is.
Oh, there's perfect. Okay.
But if we need to come back to this,
what happened? Where did the?
I don't. Mine jumped 2, so it's the New York Post. You can't trust those people. I had to scroll all the way back up, and now Yeah, something's weird with this link. We're gonna come back to it. How about we put a cork in this one and
All right, yeah, sorry. I thought that was going to be easier than it was. I blame Yahoo News. All right,
Ben,
moving forward.
I want to jump right to the first YouTube link I sent you.
Oh yes, I saw this. This is,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have.
oh man, this might be the new thing.
We pride ourselves in being trendsetters and bringing you the latest, greatest, most underground things like super wrestlers. Which
Yes.
Coming this September, check it out. Go to your social medias and look up the super wrestlers. This shall be an adult trip that I organize.
I'm in.
We will get the appropriate accommodations. Ben, you have been around certain events that I have planned.
Yes.
And there's no shortage of extravagance. There's no shortage of amenity.
Nope. Weird. I'm in. I don't care. This is where I believe this is in Nashville. I'll walk if I have to.
And it's generally centered around one specific thing. And
I mean, the idea of going to Nashville seems like the last place on earth I'd ever want to go, because I hate country music with such a burning passion, and I hate all dudes that wear cowboy boots and cowboy hats. But I'd go to Nashville for this.
We're going to Nashville for this.
Nashville. Armored MMA hits the big stage. Saturday, August 24th at the Municipal Auditorium in downtown Nashville.
Yes!
Watch Medieval Knights fight it out.
Yes!
Cage for the crown. It's MMA with real armor, real weapons, and real violence. Tickets can be purchased at armoredmma.com or Ticket Fair. Next fight of the season, Saturday, August 24th. Watch medieval cage fights with the best fighters in the world. Get your tickets now.
Yes! Yes!
Ben?
Oh, I am so in on that.
If you're like, what? Wait, did I just?
That like it almost says
it
doesn't seem. Yeah, it doesn't seem real.
The next link, which I actually I clipped and I cropped. I want you. This is Check this out. This is armored MMA.
Yes!
And fighters, start fight.
Oh. This is insane. I love it. That's a giant axe. Oh my God. Yeah, the knight from OBT. He needs to be there.
30 seconds.
This is great. How does somebody not die?
Stop fight. We haven't decided.
And I guess it's a point-based system. So it's because you're obviously not knocking your opponent out or killing them. I don't.
Right.
I don't think.
I don't think. Dude, that is so awesome. Fuck bare knuckle fighting. Fuck UFC. Fuck all that shit. This is what needs to be on my television. This needs to be the next big thing.
Yep. It's like medieval times, but
real.
Real. Like it's.
I am
guys
so in.
Yeah. So
August 24th. Can we? That's a short turnaround.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe the next event after that. Maybe it's a winter event where we got something during the winter.
I think during the winter.
And we do a live Topic Thunder with whoever else shows up. We do a live round here. That's when we do the McLaughlin group idea.
Wrong.
Whoever shows up for Armored MMA, we get in a hotel room the night before, and we sit down and we record the Topic Thunder McLaughlin group.
All right, so that is actually a great idea. So stay tuned for I guess the first official show trip.
I love this. I fucking love that.
Ben, before we get to the lightning round, let's jump right to the that last story, because I know you'll enjoy this quite a bit.
Yes.
This is from the much admired and adhered to, and it's the journal Nature. It's the science journal Nature. It is what it is. This is kind of a take from
from last week we talked a little bit about this, but this is now a further illustration of it.
A little bit. So from the journal Nature, your brain on shrooms, how psilocybin resets neural networks. The psychedelic drug. Again, more evidence that taking psilocybin, the hallucinogenic compound found in magic mushrooms, temporarily resets entire networks of neurons in the brain that are responsible for controlling a person's sense of time and self. This is a study that repeatedly imaged the brains of 7 volunteers before, during, and after they took a massive amount of the drug.
Yeah.
The findings published in Nature on 17 July could, again, like another study. We talked about a different study last week. This is another study.
Oh,
today,
okay. This is a different study.
Published today. Could offer insights into why the compound might have therapeutic effect on some neurological conditions. Researchers, quote, saw such massive changes induced by psilocybin, end quote, that some study participants' brain network patterns resembled those of a different person entirely.
Wow.
Said Sean Siddiqui, a psychiatric neuroscientist. That's like 2 MDs.
He's really smart. Yeah.
At Harvard School of Medicine in Boston, Massachusetts. I've never seen an effect this strong, and it's a quote. Psilocybin is one of several psychedelic drugs, including LSD, ketamine, MDMA, that are being investigated as therapies for conditions as depression or post-traumatic stress disorder. Despite promising data that have sped treatments towards approval, researchers still don't fully understand the mechanism that underlies their therapeutic effects. That is actually important. What they're going to find out, it's non-addictive, it grows or is produced easily and naturally, and they're just waiting for some sort of corporation to come in and make a very pricey medication that does the same thing.
Mind med.
True. Many studies have investigated how psychedelics have affected individual cells, but Joshua Siegel, systems neuroscientist at the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis, Missouri, took a broader approach to look at how psilocybin affects the networks of neurons across the whole brain. Siegel and his colleagues tracked activity in the brains of 7 healthy adults before, during, and after they took a high dose of psilocybin. The researchers used functional magnetic resonance imaging to obtain images of the blood flow changes in certain parts of the brain. A proxy used to measure how groups of neurons across the brain communicate with each other. The more blood, the more energy, the more nutrients, the more things open up, basically, right? The researchers compared these functional MRI scans with images of the same participants' brains when they did not take the drug or when they used or took a stimulant. They found that psilocybin caused groups of neurons that normally fire together to become desynchronized. These effects localized to a group of brain regions called the default mode network, which usually are active when the brain is at wakeful rest, perhaps during daydreaming, rather than focusing on a task. Although most of the neurons in this network seem to get back in sync once the acute effects of the drug have worn off, the communication between default mode network and brain region called the anterior hippocampus, which is involved in creating our sense of space and time, was diminished for weeks. So, breaking it down really quick, it amplified and a very awake, task-oriented part of our brain. But then, in the part of our brain that like determined our sense of like space and time and ourselves, it kind of suppressed some of those a little bit. I'm not saying
Interesting.
I'm not saying it the right way,
Right.
but although past experiments have found that psilocybin disrupts brain networks, so when you disrupt a brain network, more neurons are created, right? More pathways are created.
Mm-hmm.
This study, quote, provides a deeper resolution and insight into the nature of that disruption. Which, I mean, anybody who's actually taken mushrooms could probably tell you, like, it is an altering experience.
It is a life-changing experience, yes.
And depending on the dose and the frequency, too. Let's not be shy about that, too. Because the more you do that, again, the more research is being shown that you're kind of growing your brain a little bit when you're taking
46 and 2 are just ahead of me.
magic mushrooms. And with that, Ben, it's 8:05 according to Sammy Hagar. It's time to rock! Shaka Bra, Ben. It's my latest thing, and I know Angela loves it. Shaka Bra. She doesn't know the depths of that, but she abhors it anyway. Welcome to the lightning round, ladies and gentlemen. If not for this segment, my father would never be watching the show, and we
He sits through the first hour and 8 minutes of this show to get to this point.
basically deals with my bullshit. To his favorite segment, and why not? Because it's a doozy of a segment. So if you're new to the show or need a quick refresher, welcome to the lightning round, where we introduce 3 stories into the world's most dangerous chat zone. We call that the Thunderdome, and those 3 stories are voted upon by you, the people, and we read one of them. It is the ultimate exercise in democracy. And for as long as we're holding on to that vote of government, let's go on to headline number 1. Colombia faces a new problem. Too much cocaine.
Okay.
Headline number 2. Florida man had hours-long junk food feast inside closed Walgreens.
Yes, Florida man.
Always.
Making an appearance again.
How can you? It's just that it's not.
This segment
it's not
was
we're-
born
we're not
for him,
picking on Florida. It's
No,
just
he
the
just
abundance
does
of
these
stories.
things every week. Yeah, he's a very busy guy, Florida man.
Headline number 3. Wild moment where cops arrest a man in leopard print pajamas with gerbils down his pants.
Oh, that's great.
So, we'll let you all kind of.
By the way, I just stumbled
Sort of,
across this as I was. I just refreshed my Facebook page just a second ago. I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody posted that Grindr is experiencing outages due to unprecedented traffic in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the last few days.
I also have on good Twitter authority that a lot of establishments in Milwaukee were hosting drag shows and burlesque shows this week to kind of
Oh, to like thumb their nose at the assholes coming to town. Love that.
you have nowhere to drink unless you want to watch.
That's great. That's a great. That's a great move.
Gigi and I went with some friends to the Newport Theater on Saturday night and or Friday night, sorry, and saw a cyberpunk style of burlesque show. It was awesome. It was amazing. She almost passed out. When
There is no four. Die, Australian.
You know better, Australian guy. All right.
All right, we got now. Yeah.
Perhaps.
All right, hold on. Alternate headlines: Mountains of blow. Florida man becomes Willy Wonka's nightmare, and leopard print doesn't make you a real leopard.
It doesn't. Okay. We're gonna read the headlines one more time because
And you have to vote for one of the three
There's 3
Australian guys.
The Australian guys. So we haven't added an Aussie 4. And just again, one more time, we're gonna read these again. But please, while you're watching, whatever medium you're watching, YouTube, Twitch, the Facebook,
share.
just like and share. It helps grow the brand. We get different.
I want the grinder story. Well, there it was. That's all I've got. Is that there's a graphic. I don't know how accurate it is.
And it's breaking news, and it's hard to cover breaking news on a weekly news magazine.
I'm just saying, if this is accurate, then Then Milwaukee. I mean, look at the spike in activity in the last 24 hours.
They should make their metadata available to the public.
Yes, I think if it's
that
true,
violates things and
Yeah.
anyway. Okay, all right, all right. Let's wrap this up because I'm hungry.
Yeah, for sure.
No, by the way, no. I love being here. This is great. I love headline number 1. Colombia faces a new problem, Ben. They have too much cocaine.
For some people,
hell of a problem for a
it's
hell of a
not of a problem, not much of a problem. Right?
Yeah, like what we have a surplus of this very valuable and
Oh no!
movable
Whatever
product.
will we do with it?
I
You'll
don't
sell it to
know.
white people. Is what you'll do.
Maybe this next guy. Headline number 2.
Right.
Florida man had hours-long junk food feast inside closed Walgreens, police say. And headline number 3. A wild moment where cops arrest a man in leopard print pajamas with gerbils down his pants. That is the lightning round.
There are some votes already in. Billy Wack came in voting for number 2. Biz is going with number 2. Adrian going with number 1. Gigi going number 2. Chompy Mage 2. Look, 2's running away with this thing.
2 is kind of starting to run away with us.
But
Chris and Ryan Hansen,
2.
we're already.
Everlasting Womp Stomper or whatever. Are you still out there? Did we run you off? They say that we know who they are, but again, we don't want to know who you are.
I'm okay with the mystery, to be honest.
I like mystery.
I like the mystery. Dad F. Brooks voting in. We're at
I think
basically
2's gonna win
we're
this
at
thing,
7-1.
Yeah, 2 is 1.
2 has won.
Sorry.
2 has won.
Florida man wins again.
Tampa,
What can we say?
Florida.
The Thunderdome loves Florida man.
And,
we have a special
and
attachment.
They love us.
Yes.
Tampa, Florida, from WFLA. Hello.
Hello.
A Florida man was arrested after he indulged in sweets and other various items inside a closed Walgreens for several hours early Monday morning, according to police. The new Samira Beach Police Department was called to Walgreens on State Road 44 around 3 a.m. after the store's alarms went off. The alarm company told authorities that a man was inside the store despite it being closed since 10 p.m. Security footage showed the man, Christopher Morgan, entering the Walgreens at 9:40 p.m.
Oh, and
Go to the
don't worry,
restroom.
folks. I have pictures to go along.
Oh, do you have to?
Oh, I got it. Don't worry. I got you.
Again,
There,
the offender
there's him.
entered the store at 9:40 p.m. and went to the restroom. And he did not come out until 2:42 a.m. After being in the restroom for nearly 5 hours, police said Morgan began roaming around the store, treating himself to various items such as Tostitos spinach chips, Reese's chocolate, Ghirardelli chocolate bars, Dr. Pepper, and Newport cigarettes.
Yeah.
That is a Florida man. When officers arrived, they say they saw Morgan through the front door taking a pack of cigarettes from behind a counter. Body camera footage shows officers helping the man unlock the store's doors from the inside with
That
security
is the
alarms
face of
blaring in the
meth
background.
right there, by the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He took a little nap in the bathroom and was like, whoa, all right, this is all for me? Cool. Police said Morgan made no attempt to exit the store or call to get help out. Right, man. In Newport, you might as well be smoking.
Newports are so gross. They have always been the grossest cigarette you could possibly smoke.
It's like how it used to be, like for those of us who
So
remember,
gross.
like
Menthol
the
cigarettes in
cigarette
general
era,
are fucking disgusting. Like
there
cigarettes
was-
are gross, but menthol cigarettes are especially disgusting.
there was like a class of people, like it was like a caste system in India. Like, oh, you smoke Benson and Hedges? Oh,
Ugh.
I can't be friends with you anymore.
Ugh.
Right? Like, So there it was, ladies and gentlemen. You asked for it, you got it. And quick little show business right here. A special shout out to Aunt Chris, who's celebrating a birthday today.
Oh yeah.
And another special shout out to Adrian, who graduated from her master's class and has a master's degree.
Easily the smartest person in our household now.
And bless her heart, because she's also a very sweet woman. So congratulations to both Adrian and Aunt Chris on survival and then your academic accomplishments. So
On survival.
look, that's what it is, right? You got another year under your belt. Like, you made it through this crazy shit, and Aunt Chris has like got crazier survival immigrant stories than I do. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we discuss all of these things, and if you're a stranger to the chat zone, it's the world's most dangerous chat zone. So thanks to everybody in it. You guys drive the show. And from the deck of the USS Rapapa, now that I can hear him hit the post,